Hi, this is Patty, and welcome back to our dashboard training. Today we are going to be discussing our playlist section. In fact, I'm in the dashboard right now, and the playlist area is right below the pages section. And I'm just going to give you a brief overview. The playlist area is set up very much just like the pages. If you go to the left-hand side by my playlist, you'll notice there's an arrow button, and there's also areas here for folders, so you can organize your playlist into folders. You can search for playlists by name by the search area, and then organize your playlist however you see fit, either alphabetically or when they've been created or modified. You can add new playlists just by clicking on the Add button, and it will create an empty playlist. And you can also choose from Other Dashboard. Now, I'll just briefly explain from Other Dashboard. If you are a standard account, you will not have this arrow button because you will not have other dashboards to choose from. However, if you are an enterprise account and you have several different departments, you will have that option to go to other dashboards to choose playlists to link to. And we'll go through that in a little bit. You also have the option to show extra paths to drag to here, so you can drag your playlist to all different folders. Great, keep you all organized. Okay. You can have as many playlists as you want. There is no set quantity that you can only have. Some great ideas for having extra playlists. Maybe you have specific events that are coming up that you want to create a specific playlist for, and you don't want those slides to intermingle with your main playlist. You might have seasonal slides that you want to make a playlist for. You might be having an off-campus seminar that you just want to have its own playlist and feature that. Or you might even be at a trade show if you're a business and you want to build your own playlist for the trade show. So those are just some ideas that you might be thinking about when you create your playlists. So as I go into our playlist, I'm just going to click on it, and you can edit, rename, copy, and delete, just like your pages. It's the same thing. So I'm going to show you how to populate just by editing our playlist. And all you need to do is drag your slides into your playlist. So let's just go ahead and bring our slides that we've already created. They're ready to go. Let's pop those in here. Just a couple of tips here. When you have your pop quiz, make sure that your question goes first before the answer. And also, when you're creating shared backgrounds, it's always nice to have several of those shared backgrounds put together. And the reason that you want to do that is because you have scrollers and news feeds and RSS feeds. And the transition between each of these slides is seamless. You'll see the scroller will continue to provide its information, and the news will continue to update. We're going to preview this in a little bit, so I'll show you what I mean. So I have another slide I'm going to pull in here, and you'll notice right away that it drops down to a second row. And you can have as many rows of slides as you want. Again, there is no limit to how many slides you want to have. Just bear in mind that you want to build a display that is going to be able to loop maybe 1 or 2 times for a viewer so they can catch all of the information. So while I'm in the display, it looks like a film strip. On the left hand side, you'll see our preview button. We're going to go through that in a moment. We also have edit playback durations. I'm going to click that, and you'll notice that they all have numerals underneath them. Those are how long they're going to play. So they're in second increments. So they by default All of our slides will be set for 15 seconds. You have the option to either increase how long they're going to play or decrease how long they're going to play depending upon how much information that they provide. Just a word or a little tip here, when you have a video playing, just know, let's say it's a 2-minute video, you don't want to put 2 here. You want to put 120 seconds. So it's a minute, 60 seconds times 2 is 120. So make sure that if you want a full video to be seen, you use the full seconds here. Okay, I have them set for less seconds so that we're going to be able to preview a little bit more efficiently, and I'm just going to click Save. And then the page transitions here just let you know how your pages are going to display. And we're going to pick random so that you can see them all different ways. On the right-hand side here is a clock with time, and it tells you how long this whole loop is playing for. So let's go in and we can preview our playlist. So just bear in mind how it's a nice fade in, and you'll notice the shared background back here. We've got our crawler on the bottom, and then we have our news is updating and our calendar of events. So as the next slide comes into play, it's a seamless transition. There's our cube transition. And here's your pop quiz. Notice the progression that comes up here. It says it's set for 10 seconds. It's not, because I think I have it set for 8 seconds, so it's going to go fairly quickly. And our today's snapshot, another cube, and we're done. Just escape on your keyboard and then X out, and that will get you out of your preview. Okay, while you're in the playlist, you have the capability of editing your slides right in here. So I'm just going to take today's snapshot, and when I click on the slide, you'll see Edit and Settings. Settings is used for scheduling these slides to play. I will go through that in another video. We're just going to click on Edit. And again, it brings up our editor. So I don't want any animation on that today's snapshot. I'm going to take that out so I can edit it right here, save and back. And the nice thing is it's going to also update the slide in my pages area, not just in my display. Another tip that I want to show you is your directory board. This is in portrait mount, and you cannot intermingle a portrait with a landscape. So let me show you what happens. It slides over, but it gives me an error. It just tells you they're at 2 different aspect ratios and you can't intermingle them. So you would have to pull your directory board into its own playlist. Another feature we have in our playlist is an optional foreground page. You can put a slide in this area, but just bear in mind as a word of warning, anything that's put in this area over here will take over or play over every single slide. So just to show you what I mean is I created a slide right here that says foreground, and I'm just going to pop it in the front. It highlights it. And what I did was I created a crawler. The crawler is going to go over every single slide. So let's just preview that briefly. I won't let it go through the whole time, but you'll see on the bottom of the slides that crawler is going over the slides. Now, you would use this in an instance where maybe you want a logo or some kind of image to be on top of every single slide, or maybe you do have a crawler that you want to override all the slides because you have specific information that you want your viewers to see. So those would be the only reasons that you would use that. And You cannot schedule your foreground slide. You can't edit. You can change it and edit it up here, but you can't schedule it. We can take it right out though. Okay, well, let's X out of this playlist. And now I just want to show you that you can go to other dashboards and use their playlist. So notice up here on the right hand side I have a drop down of several different departments. Right now I'm in Department 2 and I'm going to click on the playlist and just say use. You'll notice that that playlist has a lower opacity and it also has a couple of linked circles there. That lets me know that I'm linked to Department 2. I'm capable of pulling that into my channels and using it, but let's open up that playlist. And you'll notice all the slides in here also have a very low opacity. If I click on them, I cannot edit them, I cannot schedule them, I can't do anything with them. If you needed to have any changes done on this playlist, you would need to get in touch with the person who created it. You can, however, put an optional foreground on top of it. So let's say I pull this foreground. Oh, actually, you can't. I'm glad I went through that. You cannot even put an optional foreground on it. You can't edit it at all. So this is your video for our playlist training. Please stay tuned for our next video as we go through scheduling our pages in our playlist.